This is the Suge, rap's biggest villain, the guy who almost destroyed the rap that we knows today and tried to kill several of his favorite artists, DG, Eminem, Izzy Dog, 50 Cent. And there are even theories that he had involvement in the death of Pac and Big. So if this guy could everything he tried to do, several of the Japairs we know they would have died at his hands. That's crazy to think about. These and some other crimes landed him a 28-year prison sentence. So let's understand why this man is your most feared inside of rap of all time. Mario Hugh Knight Jr., that's the real deal name of Sha Knight, who was born on April 19, 1965 there in Compton, and he in theory had a fairly common childhood, removing all the violence from Compton that there was at that time, where there was gang warfare, which in theory they were normal. There he grew up far from all that, going more towards sports, which was his passion in this time. The Suge, which had been quite large since its adolescence, had a certain advantage in the sport, one that needed strength, and he applied this to American football. Despite all this advantage of size, when he finished high school, he couldn't get into a league and became a professional player, which frustrated him, and a lot of doing Suge Knight just taking the name he used and trying to do something else takes. He should pay 50% of the for him to win with this song for Sha Knight, which ended up not happening. Even with this song exploding on the radio, it was then that one night Suge Knight got together 6 guys and went to the hotel and flew there. I was about to hit them and get the money. Description of Terrapine Night Street and the Beverly Hill Hotel. Chuck Knight shows up with 6 other men. Oh, interesting about this story? Here is. Then Vanilla. I see accused getting close to doing this, and then when this story got very big and went to ATV, he said no, he made up the story. Strange to say the least, as if someone had made him lie to hide all this. That's it. I'm just showing fear that people will already they had Stignit at that time here. Well, after a while the Suge meet Dr. Dre, who has wanted to leave his record label for a while now too, and then Shrek came offering him a contract, and in his words, better working conditions. Well, according to Drive Do, he needed to convince Izzy and Jerry Heller, who was the manager of the group NWE, to let Dr. Joe leave the record company. The Suge until tried to meet with Dr. Joe's manager and went to the office him, but when he got there the Heller wasn't doing it like that. When the net arrives, he gets very angry and forces the security guards at that office there get down on all fours and bark the whole time just to show the power he had. The Sir tries to contact Dr. Joe right now time and went to his house to resolve it, but he didn't expect the Suge Knight would be there with several members of his gang. There's even a scene in the film at NWHE that shows this event. Even if you haven't watched this movie yet, bro, just watch it. Let's go out and the or. It is. Need not? No. Anyway, he wanted easier to release the Dr. label Jiru, and yeah, he got it by force because Sinead said if Izzy didn't want it he was going to kill Izzy. So that's just for you to understand. What kind of person will you reach? This was it at the time. He threatened people like Azil, and the NWA manager was so scared after this situation here, that they hired 6 security guards to hang around with Azir, because he was really scared do Suge Knight kill him. Shakatires destroy my rec company with the help of Urgent Trey? Saraya 9% back, to get within a come out you know. Fully loaded. Release Dr. Win from the record company, and yes, he achieved it in force, because the Suge Knight said that if Izzy didn't do it, he would kill Izzy. So this is just for you to understand what kind of person he arrive. Knight was at this time. He threatened people like Izzy, and the NWA manager was so scared after this situation here, who hired 6 security guards to hang around with Azir, because I was really scared. Do Sha Knight and kill him? Destroy my rec company. What the help of Urder Trey? Saranet never tang back to get then within a come out you know. Well, after that the net arrives, it creates Defense Records, only one of the biggest rap record labels in history. The record company has already started off very well in terms of finances. It started with an office and a studio in the middle of Hollywood. Oh, money to make all this happen. I came from a very good person, specifically Michael Harry Harris, one of the biggest cocaine traffickers from Los Angeles and also Suge Knight's partner. These connections he had with the gang members were very important to him and to him being this person that people were afraid of. But several strange things happened at the beginning of the Dayfro. The people who were there around the Suge Knight said they want to eat in full disturb. And George Stley were in the studio with the when Dr. Do arrived. The net appeared and what it seems like that day I was waiting for a call from Michael Harris, his partner in creation of Dayfro. Remember this, so it seems that Shenzentava waiting for an important call from him that day when he picked up the phone to make a call. The Chillnet said some things to him, which ended the book saying that he didn't want to get involved with the Suge Knight gang shit, and then Shuggy, he pulled out his gun, fired 2 shots at the wall to scare the people there, and when line went Suge Knight fell to the ground in fear. His associates beat him for a long time. There are even other stories like the day a man arrived at Dayfro's door asking Suge Knight for the opportunity to listen his music, and if he liked it, hire him, and Suge Knight said I would listen to the guy's music, but if he didn't like it, he would beat him up. One of the security guards from the Suge Knight era said he only heard 2 words of the man's music and then he started hitting him, and the crazy thing is that stories are not isolated things, you know, because even secretaries and other people who worked at Dayfro revealed that they had been attacked inside the record label by the newcomer himself. For a long time then Tupac joined the record company because of all that bullshit he was in having with the Notorious Big and with Puff Daddy and Shenzhen. He kind of began to become a celebrity, being on several TVE programs, etc. But, as incredible as it may seem, with Izzy's death shortly later, Falenet started appearing on TV programs even more, and guess what to talk about? Yes, Izzy's death. But then an excerpt from the interviews Sheenage appears talking about a theory in which it was very easy to kill someone the way Izzy died, and for those you don't know, Izzy, he died on vacation, an illness that at that time was much more difficult to live with, and since medicine was not as advanced as today, I only saw offer shows. Listen to Good of Fever Go Sane Cool There's Nothing People Sell Soft Battens Optical The Got Blood Form for Merry World ATS Without You Are Born Flow. Her. It is said, and the man, yeah, or not all that much. I knew that Suge Knight he himself had threatened his ex with death, and now with this excerpt from interview, people had a reason to think he had you killed to demand it, including Izzy's own son, and his manager accused Suge Knight of having killed him in the same way he describes in the video. He has injected the disease into the demand, and well, if he did that, it's not me in a YouTube video that will confirm this. But if even Izzy's own son believes in this theory, something has, and there are several theories about the death of people on Shuggy. For example, still believe he had something to do with the death of Tupac and himself Notorious Big. Also, well, although the investigations went elsewhere side, today the story that Pac's father-in-law tells Chris Jones is that Pac he wanted to leave Dayfro for a long time because we were stealing all his money and he knew it, and Shenzhen would have discovered, and well, he would have had him killed. This is one of the theories that continue to this day and many people still believe, and it doesn't stop there, because there is reason for people to believe that the Suge Knight tried to kill the Jeps. After all, Suge Knight already has to take Eminem twice. This mess too starts at the 2001 Social Awards, which is a music awards show. On that day, security guards could not be with the artists, they would have to be a little far away, and in this award the Eminem 100, clothes from the people at Dayfro, the record label from Suge Knight and the brothers from Dayfro began to tease the Eminent for a giant athlete at that moment. Death threats were made against the Eminent. They said they would end Eminem there after the event. The situation got so out of control that Eminem's security guard had to call Drive Dre, who had a relationship with Suge Knight, to ease the tension there and not literally start a war. Just that night everything cooled down, but that's it, since 2 months later Snoop Dogg and Eminem were play a show in Hawaii and had to be escorted by the police, as when they arrived at the airport, the Suge Knight sent 50 members gang to put an end to both Snoop Dogg, who at that time had already a tit with Suge Knight. But this story about him and Snoop Dogg is so great that it deserves a video solely about it, and I'm going to do it. But you may be wondering, how is this guy today? he was arrested for any of these things? Well, despite committing many crimes, the Suge was arrested in 2015 for something I haven't mentioned here yet, which was hit and run, and kill one of these two people from the run over. It wasn't an accident. The victims were, in quotation marks, friends of Suge grade, just that one night they started arguing and you understood to where does this go. He went there and ran over the two guys because he wanted to. Sentenced to 28 years in prison, and well, he's far from finishing this. Sorry, talk about it. I'm Victor Viano and this was another video from my channel. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment to help me with the algorithm if you want to promote your music here.